Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am Dave Murcott with MycoDART, and I'm here to share an exciting breakthrough in diagnostic technology. These are tests that hospitals and insurance companies want because we're going to save a lot of money, and tests that doctors and patients need because they're going to save a lot of lives. Every year in our country, millions of people are at risk. Hundreds of thousands are infected, and tens of thousands die. I'm talking about immune-compromised patients. In their weakened state, they are highly susceptible to fungal infections, such as those from Candida and Aspergillus. Unfortunately, too many times, these infections turn deadly. Now, doctors are so concerned about these infections that at the very first sign, they are going to order the gold standard test for you. Sounds encouraging, doesn't it? It's not. The gold standard test is a blood culture. It's a 100-year-old technology that's only 50% accurate, and it takes days to get results. These patients don't have that kind of time. Mortality sets in within hours of being infected, so doctors have to start treating immediately. But since they don't know what to treat for, they treat for everything. They prescribe broad-spectrum antifungals, which are very toxic, very expensive. The patients end up back in the hospital for lengthy stays, and it could add $30,000 to the cost of their treatment. We have to do better, and now we can. MycoDART PCR is a DNA test that we've developed and patented. It's not testing your DNA, it's testing your blood for the presence of DNA of an organism which may have infected you. At 95% sensitivity, we are almost twice as effective as a blood culture. And for the first time ever, we can provide results in hours, not days. This allows doctors to put patients on the right treatment sooner, saving money, saving lives. We're going to launch MycoDART as a laboratory-developed test. That means it'll be performed in our clinical laboratory here in Dallas. So doctors will collect on site, courier or overnight the specimen, and within 6 hours of receipt, they'll get their results. Our first test is already clinically validated and ready to go to market. Cancer patients and transplant patients have the highest incidence rates, so we're going to focus our attention there. There are about 1.7 million of them at 1,700 centers around the country. Now, there's not a lot of competition in this space, which is a good thing for us. Blood cultures we've talked about. They're terrible, they're horrible, nobody wants them, but 99% of hospitals have to use that because there's nothing else. You may be familiar with other DNA tests that look for similar organisms, but they're a little bit different than we are. They can't find the DNA in blood, so you have to grow a blood culture first and then run the DNA test. Well, that doesn't help because you're back to the 7 days before you can even use their test. There's only one company on the market that does something similar to what we do. But theirs is a very expensive system. It's about $250,000. You have to lease or buy it, put it in your hospital, train your staff on how to use it, and it only runs a couple of tests. So it's not been very widely adopted. Our solution will be much more accessible and much more affordable. Our first test to come to market is going to be our Candida panel. Now, as I said, we're already clinically validated, but we wanted to be market validated as well. So we identified 6 university hospital sites around the country whose principal investigators are the thought leaders in their field. We're doing a study with them, and we're going to publish with them, and they will become our cheerleaders, our champions, and our early adopters. The American Medical Association has also given us our own CPT code. Now, if you don't know what that is, it's huge. There are thousands and thousands of laboratory-developed tests in the country. Only 72 have ever been recognized by the American Medical Association, and we're one of them. This is going to allow us to add credibility to our test and also give us leverage in negotiating reimbursement rates with insurance companies and Medicare. The next test in our series was Aspergillus. We were going to hold off on that for a while, but when you get into a program like Health Wildcatters, things start to happen. They make noise, they make buzz, they turn up the volume, and people start to hear about what you're doing. So it led to a meeting with us with the chairman of the surgical transplant unit of one of the 2 largest healthcare systems in the state of Texas. He said, this test is too important, we need to get it to market, I want you to bring it into my university hospital and we'll do a study with you and publish like you're doing with Candida. We expect to have access to about 300,000 patients in the first 5 years. That's a lot. We don't have to get 300,000 patients though, we just have to enroll hospitals, and it doesn't take that many because the hospitals have access to thousands of patients. And what they're going to do is they're going to order for hundreds of those patients multiple times throughout the course of their treatment. So the numbers ramp up very quickly. I am blessed to be surrounded by an awesome team. Between us, we have dozens of years of experience in business management, laboratory operations, and molecular development. We are seeking $1 million. The purpose of the raise is to complete these 2 important clinical studies, then to hire a team of medical science liaisons. These are the people who will take our published studies out to hospitals and insurance companies and educate the market on what we're doing. In closing, we have an awesome product that nobody else can touch. We have a market that is hungry for what we are doing, and we're ready to go. Our foot's on the pedal. We just need a little gas in the tank. So if you want to chip in for some gas money, I'll save you a seat on the bus, because this is going to be a really fun ride. Thank you very much.